Safe is coming up, but next, your Farm and Ranch Report with the Montana Ag Network.
Now, here's your Farm and Ranch Report from the Montana Ag Network.
Welcome back for today's Farm and Ranch News. The American Association of Meat Processors has announced its support for the bipartisan Strengthening Local Processing Act, legislation that provides many of the critical items to help small processors improve and grow their businesses. The act also supports a scale-appropriate approach to small-scale slaughter and processing. The association's executive director, Chris Young, said the events of 2020 and the response of small processors have highlighted the need to increase capacity in our industry and to provide the help to processors who are vital to their local communities. In other headlines, the American Farm Bureau Federation has 13 advisory committees that are made up of farmers and ranchers from across the country with a particular interest and expertise in their focus area and serve in an advisory capacity on issues for the American Farm Bureau President and Board of Directors. SACO's Tom Depute represents Western ranchers on the Federal Lands Committee, and he said the panel that met last week is waiting to see how the Biden administration's policies may impact federal lands issues in the years to come.
Just a lot of these old concerns are resurfacing. The Antiquities Act, the national monuments, the Biden administration is considering bringing back more acres into some of the monuments. The overpopulation of wild horses on BLM lands is a huge, huge problem.
Another concern is not knowing how the Biden administration will utilize full funding through the Land Water Conservation Fund.
You know, there's some worries with the executive orders of the 30 by 30, conserving 30% of the land by 2030, and we have the full funding of the LWCF. What does that mean? You know, is the government going to be owning more land? So those are big concerns, and probably the top thing, though, every topic is forest management.
And on that note, the American Farm Bureau's Federal Lands Committee will continue to educate lawmakers on the important role ranchers play in forest and rangeland management. We'll be right back. As we come back today, we see that USDA will shift its definition of agricultural products in terms of U.S. export data in the January 2021 trade data that will be released on March 5th. This change will adopt the World Trade Organization definition of agricultural products to now include ethanol, distilled spirits, and tobacco products. Those products are not currently considered ag products under USDA's current definition. The change will put the USDA numbers on agricultural products in line also with the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. And finally today, there is so much uncertainty for how this year's winter wheat crop will fare due to drought and extreme cold here in 2021. In the largest winter wheat production state of Kansas, the main threat to the crop appears to be in the western and northwestern regions of Kansas, where conditions have been extremely dry. As USDA is only estimating 1.826 billion bushels of U.S. wheat production in the new season, it wouldn't take much loss to shave off meaningful bushels. Montana's latest crop progress report has winter wheat conditions rated at 69% good to excellent, up minimally from 68% in the previous report, but not a big surprise here. Many farmers have stated the severe cold and wind chill may have affected the already stressed winter wheat crop in the state. That's today's Farm and Ranch News.
From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us on this Wednesday morning, I do believe. Thanks again. I'm Mike Powers. Lauren is off this week, but meteorologist Louis Dortch is here. And Louis, Jamie, our audio operator, told me that yesterday was the one-year anniversary of the Corn concert at the Adams Center. That may have been the last big show. It has certainly been quite a year.
You know, I was thinking about this yesterday, too, because Jamie brought that up. And then I started thinking about, we haven't been to concerts in almost a year now. Last year at this time, because I remember spring break was coming up, and it was about this time where people were like, oh, wait, okay, what are we doing for spring break? Should we be? And it was like this time that everything started to get really go south and intense with this. It's crazy. It's been a year already, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to get back to normal, but we got a ways to go. It looks like.
Yeah, I got a ways to go, I think. Mike, what we have going on today, though, is a little bit of snow continuing this morning. And then what we're going to see is an overall dry day. It's going to be pretty nice out there for your Wednesday here. We're going to see some sunshine across western Montana. We'll get a little bit of snow this morning, but all this is starting to clear out as a brief dry period sets up. That doesn't last long, though, as our next round of snow moves in Thursday, Friday. By the weekend, some drier air moves in, but it does look to remain cool through the weekend, too. So we'll get these details as we move throughout your Wednesday morning here. Some clouds this morning in Missoula, then the skies clear, some sunshine by mid to late morning, and that continues into the afternoon. Skies are already clearing across northwest Montana, so we're really looking at sunshine and cool temperatures for Kalispell today, highs in the low to mid 30s. Same setup for Hamilton. There is a little snow moving through Hamilton this morning right now. That will clear out with sunshine later on. All the details coming up.
Seeley Lake property owners have overwhelmingly rejected a plan which would have cleared the way for construction of a multi-million-dollar sewer treatment system to solve groundwater quality problems. The Seeley Lake Sewer District proposed a pair of bond issues to solve the growing problem of groundwater contamination. Health officials say older septic systems, especially crowded together on smaller lots, are allowing nitrates to seep into the groundwater, threatening wells, but also degrading water quality in the valley's signature lakes. The first bond would have raised almost $12 million for a new sewage treatment plant. $5 million would have been for a collection system just for Phase 1 in the Seeley Lake Sewer District, with other phases projected later. The district had hoped to preserve access to $10.5 million in grants and $6.5 million in low-interest loans that are expected to expire this spring. The combination of the bonds would have cost property owners close to $50 per month. But 70% of the voters rejected the idea of building the first phase of the collection system, and close to 67% against spending money on the treatment plant. The district will be meeting this week to discuss the results and the next steps.